Hey folks, welcome back, Open Pagan Church. We'll bring Discord on here in just a moment. Hope everyone's having a good day. Will you ever wonder how being pagan has helped you? I know from my own point of view, being pagan has helped me a lot. We're going to talk about how paganism may have helped you and how it has helped others with the freedom and what have you. We'll be right back, right after a word from our sponsor. Well, we want to give a big thanks to Exile, Conan Exiles, and Cynical Server. On Cynical Server, you get 8 times boosted, drop on death, quick thralling, admin shop where you can get your goodies when you first log on, mandatory Discord, PvP events, and much more. Increased stamina. This is a PS4 format server. You can build your own clan, farm, and build your own buildings. We want to thank Cynical Server for sponsoring our broadcast today. Alright, thank you to our sponsor. And we will bring Discord in here. How's everybody doing?
Good morning, good morning.
Besides this constant nasty hack.
Well, it's that time of year, isn't it?
The cool weather sets in and my congestion kicks up.
Well, yeah. Mine's an equal opportunity pain. Cold weather, hot weather, mid weather.
Oh, yeah, me too, but
You know, equal opportunity pain.
mine gets worse when it gets cooler.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, I've always found it funny. I tend to breathe easier the cooler it is.
Yeah, but you also get clogged up easier too.
Well, yeah, there is that. So, how is it you manage to breathe easier but get clogged up easier as well?
Who knows? Congestion kind of rolls to the back of the throat and stays back there, so you breathe easier, but you get all congested up into the lungs.
I guess so. I guess so. Well, I mean, Cindy lost her keys. I guess she partied too much over Samhain. So
Yeah.
she's not with us this morning. And so we're going to be talking.
Which
Huh?
deity did she pissed off?
Say what?
I said, I wonder which deity she pissed off.
Well, I could probably go there, but I won't. This is a family channel, supposedly. PG-13, I think, anyway, right?
Right.
So, I mean, you know, Lester, you and your wife, I know you're not pagan. Clint is. I don't see anybody in the chat yet. If anybody's hiding in the chat, absolutely post up and say hello, because I do not see you. Oh, that was a squeaky hello.
That was me.
That was you. Oh, man. So, we're going to be talking a little bit today, I guess, about how, being pagan, not necessarily paganism as a whole, but how living the life as a pagan, what it's done for you. And I think the same goes with living with an open-minded philosophy. And I think the biggest thing that comes to play that a lot of people don't realize is instead of listening to innuendo and hearsay, we research for ourselves, we learn for ourselves. And I know one of the base cores of the pagan philosophy is listen to others, accept others' ideas, but research for yourself. What do y'all think?
Yeah. I'm a firm believer that I don't contradict anybody's belief, no matter how foolish they may sound. It's their beliefs.
Yep.
I believe one thing, you might believe another, but you're free to believe in what you want. I'm free to believe in what I want. And if we get along, so much the better.
Right. And you know the biggest thing is back before, and I'm really serious here. Back before the Romans screwed it all up, you would have 15 or 20 different religious philosophies all living in the same housing district together. You would have what they called Gentiles, you'd have the Jewish, the Muslim. I don't think they called them Muslim back then, did they? I don't remember.
No.
No.
No, I don't remember. But anyway, you would have a boatload of different religious philosophies all living together in the same housing district.
And they live together copacetically.
Yeah, they came together on the like-minded holidays and they broke bread together. They drank wine together. They went to the bathhouse together. Oh. Yeah, we won't go there. Anyway,
A lot more than that together.
right, right. And you know, they
Some
fought.
of it was frowned upon, but they still did it.
Well, I mean, you know, society loves frowning upon stuff, doesn't it? But I think back before the Romans and following society screwed everything up, or started the momentum towards screwing everything up, most folk just got along.
Or you had your clan wars
Oh, well, yeah.
and disputes and things like that, but it was usually kingdom versus kingdom. It wasn't religion versus religion.
Yeah, right. Um, Sorry, Lester, but a big part of that I got to blame on the Catholic Church.
But yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, the Christians went from being this minor sect to the religious icon of Rome, even while Rome was still Rome, thanks to Constantinople or whatever the hell his name was.
Wasn't it
King
Constantine?
Yeah, King
Constantine, yeah.
But the man stayed a pagan and he continued to worship the gods up until his dying day. Then he took his blessing from the church and became Christian. So, you know, he looked at it from a political standpoint. The Christian church was gaining momentum to a point where it was stupid to, you know, oppress them anymore. So why not just say we're going to make this the state church? You can still worship your gods if you want, but the state church is going to be Catholicism.
Right, and then, of course, started coming the councils of Nicaea.
Well, yeah, that was so they could actually curb all the different sects of Christianity. I mean, there were like 50 or 60 different
Right.
sects of Christianity.
Right. Well, you know, one of the things that I found that paganism gave me, you've known me since the early 90s.
Yep.
And one of the biggest problems I had prior to my conversion to paganism was the hypocritical mindset of fundamental societies. And I mean, huh?
Constant contradictions.
Yeah, the whole do as I say, don't do as I do thing.
Right.
And
But if I tell you to do it, you need to do it.
you're right, yeah, and you know, personally, is somebody playing a drum?
I don't know what that is. It's been doing it.
Clint, are you playing a drum?
No,
Nope.
typing a message.
Oh, typing.
I
Well, there you go.
Sorry.
Wow, you're fine. Multitasking. Now that I know what it is, it's not a bother. But spending many, many years confused as a termite in a yo-yo. Shut up, Lester. Trying to figure out the different forms of deities.
Stop opening that bag of potato chips, bro.
But what it did for me, going ahead and dedicating myself to the pagan philosophy, I'm still learning. Um, the sheer amount, huh?
We'll learn until we die.
Oh, right, yeah. And anybody that thinks they don't, well, they're already dead or stupid. Or
And hopefully we'll learn more after we die.
well, see, that's kind of what I'm hoping. Some my spirit guides and counsel will draw the line between the dots of all of this crap that I don't understand. But still, at the same point, I never found structured freedom, I guess you could say, until I found the pagan philosophy. Now, in retrospect, out of all the years I've been practicing since the late 90s, early 20s, there are just as many fundamental, backstabbing, shit-stirring pagans as there are Christians, as there are Jews, as there are Muslims in any other religious race.
That's a human condition.
Absolutely. That's a human thing. That's not a religion thing. I don't know of any religion out there that reinforces fundamental shit-stirring backstabbing.
No.
Well,
Uh-oh.
there are some cults that are like that, but exactly what doctrines they follow, who knows?
Yeah, but the core religion itself, though.
Well, the core religion itself is centered around the leaders. I mean, you look at the Davidians and you look at
well, true.
That's I forgot what the name of it was. They were just showing a program about it.
I just watched a documentary on that the other day too, and I damned if I can remember. But he was a self-appointed prophecy.
Yeah. And he would make these people pay money for classes to the point where they were literally going broke.
Yeah.
But he had them so brainwashed that they kept doing it.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny. Back in the early 2000s, I think it was 02, 03, 04, I was accused of brainwashing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't have time to brainwash people.
Nope.
And I don't want the karma for brainwashing anyone. But at the same time, I'm of the mindset, and this is another thing that paganism has actually done for me. It's given me a voice. I mean, I know when we used to hold the first meetings at the Liberty City Park,
Yeah.
where there was no fire, we froze our ass off. There were no fans, and we melted in the summer. But that gave me a voice to,
I know at one point when we all lived on property, it was said that we were a cult.
yeah, I always thought that was funny. The very people that called us an occult were the very people that are the biggest occults on the planet. And if you look up the definition of a cult, um, House of Pagans and Open Pagan Church is not an occult. And number one, I don't tell people what to do
Or how to live.
or how to live
Or where to spend your money.
or where to, I always said, if you got a couple of pennies for the kitty, have at it because, it'd help us keep the lights on. But the, the basic pagan philosophy is not tithing. I mean, I know the Bible talks about tithing, churches talk about tithing 10% of your income.
The hell with that.
I don't have 10% of my income to give to a damn church. Although, truth be known, when we were having circle almost every weekend, there was over 10% of my paycheck going to setting up those circles.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, there were a number of times that I was not able to pay bills because we were putting on circle, and I mean, hey, it was what it was.
Yeah, that was the biggest downfall of the Catholic Church and the cause of the Protestant movement is that they thought you could buy your way into heaven.
They
Well,
still do.
I'm sorry. A 10% tithing is not going to buy your way into heaven.
No, it's not. And well, yeah, you got a point there. But at the same time, I wasn't. I mean, in all honesty, back then I had a bit of a reputation for shagging everything that came through the door.
Yeah, you dog.
Don't get me wrong, I was a whore dog. If it was offered, I'd take it. But it wasn't something that, contrary to popular belief, I manipulated people into doing. And paganism at its core does not support what we've never support we've never supported brainwashing. We've never supported manipulating people for our own good, although, I mean, hell, who hasn't manipulated someone at some point?
It's human nature.
Human nature, Debbie says, paganism hasn't helped me. Mind you, if I'd kept my mouth shut, being pagan wouldn't have been an issue. Okay, deer in the headlights look.
She's talking about how proclaiming to be pagan has made her an outcast in the community.
Oh, it has me too. In some circles. But my thought behind that, and this is my own personal thought. Let's get this out there right now. I've lost jobs because I'm pagan. And to me, my thought is I didn't lose that job because I was pagan. I lost that job because the closed-minded fundamentalist jackasses that I worked for didn't have the intelligence enough to ask the question, or to ask intelligent questions, as it were. She says, I'm not talking about the community. She says she's solitary, referring to family. Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family, community, yeah, same difference.
Yeah, I mean, my birthright family is very small. It has been for a very long time. My biological dad decided to jump up and down and try hitting me over the head with the Bible. And I'm like, what right do you have to hit me over the head with anything? You weren't there. Now, his wife, my stepmom, on the other hand, once she found out about it, now this is a lady that was a principal of a Baptist school. Once she found out about it, she asked the particular pertinent questions and then embraced it because of my personality.
Open-minded Christian, just like me. So
Say again?
I said she's an open-minded Christian, just like me.
Right. And, my parents here, my mother and my stepmother. Mother claims Catholic, and Mama Wendy claims Methodist, I believe.
And they both witches.
And yeah. Yeah. But, and that's fine. We get into the idea that the freedom of paganism is the thing that draws a lot of people. Hello, John. Let's see, what's John got to say here? He says, paganism has been working for me since the late 80s. However, in the mid-90s, I went through my first divorce, and being pagan was an issue my ex used to manipulate the Christian judge. He goes on to say, I kept trying.
That feeling.
Huh?
Said I know that feeling, but it's in reverse.
Yeah. He says, I kept trying to make the point that at one time we were all pagan. Absolutely. Every religion on the planet, if you look at the definition of paganism, which is polytheistic, every religion on the planet came from polytheistic philosophies. But honestly,
even the Jewish religion. Even the Jewish religion.
Yeah, it came from Mesopotamia.
Yeah, they had more than one god at one point.
Right. But I think the biggest point that for myself, it allowed me the freedom to embrace who and what I was and who and what I have become. Now, granted, in all honesty, once you step into that pagan philosophy and then you start to branch out into the different paths, Wicca, witchcraft, and they are different, shamanism, fae, druid, asatru, hell, I can go on and on and on. That's when you get into your different disciplines, your different denominations, just like Catholicism, Baptist, Pentecostal. they're all forms of Christianity, and they follow the basic core Christian ideas. The difference in them comes when you get into the different denominations of a particular religion. And I've talked to a few people through the years that has honestly said paganism ruined their life. Now, that kind of got me to scratching my head and wondering, was it paganism that ruined your life, or was it the way you lived it? Was it the perceptions or misconceptions of what paganism is? I mean, we've had a number of people that come into paganism just simply thinking it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's not. There are some sects of paganism in different denominations, if you will, that truly believe that, you know, um, you you get drunk off your ass and you go into circle and you call deity so damn drunk you can't even see the altar. Personally, I disagree with that. Um, I believe you should be pure of heart and mind and body when you go to altar to deity. That's just me. And I know that many people use hallucinogens. That's fine. Uh, marijuana. Marijuana is great. I can't smoke it or take it. Uh, when I come off of drugs in '82, marijuana started having a very adverse effect on me. Oh, we don't even want to go down that road.
Ditto.
Right, right. I mean, I've tried partaking of the uh, hemp brownies and gummies and what have you, and all they did was piss me off. They didn't really help me much at all. But the whole thing about, you know, what paganism has done for you, it gave me freedom. It gave me a voice. It gave me the ability to freely share thought processes and ideas, messages, um, things that have come to me. It's given me that freedom to discuss that with like-minded individuals without fear of persecution. Um, John says, you know, I love nature connection, the art and the music. Absolutely. The the intro music I thought was rather perfect for today, of a campfire and the snowy woods in the background. I grew up on the ranch in the woods. I lived in several different cultures when I was growing up. I've lived in the city. Oh boy, did I live in the city. I've lived in neighborhoods where you could reach out your bedroom window and shake your neighbor's hand. Too damn close for me. And I spent time in the woods as a survivalist. My body won't do it now. Oh hell no! I want my creature comforts. I'll be the first one to admit I don't do well sleeping on the ground anymore.
We can sleep on the ground, we just can't get back up.
Right, right. Yeah. If I've got a blanket or something, I'm perfectly fine sleeping on the ground. Although I'm kind of a big fella nowadays. It's going to take 2 or 3 people to get me up off the ground.
I look like a beach whale when I'm on the ground.
I resemble that remark. Oh boy.
Not in size, but just in the movement I'm trying to do to get it back up on my feet.
Well, mine's a lot to do with size, you know.
Mine's are bad knees.
Well, that too. Yeah, that too.
Hell, getting up out of a chair is a pain in the ass.
Yes, and a pain in the knees as well. There's still this really weird part of me that thinks it's okay to sit with one leg folded under another when I sit down on a soft chair. About 10, about 10 or 15 minutes, I am reminded real quick that that's not a good thing to be.
Yeah, that ain't copacetic.
Nope.
No, it's not.
But I think the biggest thing that I've heard from people through the years, um, John says one thing he's noticed is since he's moved to the Dallas area, it's hard to keep that spark. It's just hard to be a pagan in the city. Yes, sir, absolutely. Um, we've lived up here. We are north of Dallas by about 48, 49 miles, something like that. And I find it fascinating at how little a pagan movement there is up here. The pagans are there. I've got a friend of mine that owns, huh?
Used to be a big hot spot for Pagan.
It was. It was. I mean, Betwixt and Between was one of the biggest covens up here at one time in the early 2000s and late 90s, I believe. But, I mean, I know the community's big up here because I've got a friend of mine that runs the Dallas Area Pagans group on Facebook. And there's a boatload of people in it, honestly. But when it comes to gatherings, I have not seen many, if any, gatherings up here, with the exception of a couple that we looked at the UU Church in Plano, I believe. It was either Plano or Allen. Can't remember. The Plano and Allen, it's hard to tell them apart. We went to one. We didn't stay long. I mean, there was a bunch of folks running around in costume, pretending to call Beltane, I think it was. It was either, no, it was Samhain, because they had the haunted house thing. So these folk were going to call Samhain. The caller professed witchcraft, and when she opened circle, with kids in it, mind you, there were kids in this circle, she called Anubis.
She called who?
Anubis. Egyptian Anubis.
Okay.
In a circle on Samhain full of kids. And professing to be a witch. Now,
Well.
you know, you and I both have always believed that, like we said in the beginning of the broadcast, that you know, people are perfectly welcome to their own beliefs.
I'll just say it this: she was foolish.
Yeah. And so we very quickly motioned to our daughter to come out of circle and sit down with us, and we very quietly excused ourselves from that situation. Didn't make a big deal out of it. Why? You know, um, why stand up in a crowd of about 50 people and tell the caller of the circle how stupid we thought she was? So we were a little more careful after that as to what circles we just freely went to. But paganism overall, like I say, it's given me a calmer voice as I've become a bit older and a bit wiser, I hope. On the wiser part. The older part I have no choice in. But I've become a bit wiser in the fact that I've learned above all that paganism, being the polytheistic belief of multiple gods and our goddesses and the love of Mother Earth, it befuddles me to no end that even when we lived in a couple of the neighborhoods up here where we're at now, I found myself shying away from sitting outside. Too noisy, no trees. There was grass, which helped a little bit. But the lack of trees made no shade, which made sitting out in the yard rather hot when it's 110 degrees up here. We're used to 98, 99, 100 degrees when I lived down south. We could always find a shade tree. In fact, we were almost never in the house. We had pecan trees, oaks, live oaks, pine trees. Kind of hard. I mean, we've got a couple of trees on property now that I go out and pet on occasion. But, and I have to borrow from John's post, you know, it's hard to keep the spark, especially in these trying times of 2020. It's hard to keep a positive uptake. It's hard to keep the spark. Um, it's hard to just go out and be with, fellow pagans, drum, stand in circle, enjoy a bonfire. You just can't do that now. The overall mental, emotional, and psychological state of so many people is on edge, it's not even funny. And the interesting part, as a pagan, I personally have found the support of my council, my spirit guides, and the thought process of a more open, free, spirited mind has helped me more than anything. So those of you that'll be watching our pre-recorded broadcast, the good and the bad, what has paganism done for you? How has it helped you, not helped you? What has it done for you? What has it not done for you? Do you have...
For me,
Yep, go ahead.
it has opened my eyes up to many different aspects that I didn't know about back when I first came to property. I can see things in a different light than what I did before. I kind of had like blinders on when it came to like Mother Nature and people and things. It's opened my mind and opened my heart to different aspects other than just one way of life like it was back then.
Yeah, paganism will absolutely yank the blinders off of you.
And that's the crazy thing is people don't realize that they have blinders on. Christians and the Catholics and everyone else. I mean, right now with the situation that's going on in the world, everybody's got blinders on. It's just either this or that. We're all part of this one world, as we say. We are all part of it, and it's all part of us, but we just don't understand that.
And, I have to completely agree with John. He says, I got lazy, I have to admit that. Oh boy, tell me about it. I used to be outside all day, every day. I used to work outside a lot. And when we moved up here, the change in environment, the heat, the different type of heat up here, absolutely sucked it out of me. So yeah, I have absolutely become lazy. Um, I like Debbie's post. She says, I explained what I was experiencing. And then she says, I stopped thinking I was weird. Right. We're not weird. In my opinion, everybody else that doesn't experience the beauty of Mother Earth, the beauty of the trees and all of nature's wonders, they're the weird ones, but that's just my own personal opinion. It doesn't make any difference if you're pagan or Christian, atheist or Jewish, Muslim or what. Like Clint said, we're all in this together. We're all on this planet. And we're along for the ride. And Mother Earth will be here long after my days are done. Mother Earth will be here long after pretty much anybody else who watches our pre-recorded broadcast days are done. So in reality, we need to give back to the Mother, help protect Mother Earth, because everyone that you talk to that says, what is paganism? They say it's an earth-based religion. Okay. But that doesn't even scratch the surface of what paganism is. Paganism is the understanding and acceptance of multiple polytheistic deity. The embrace of all of the deities, even though I don't follow them. I mean, there's a shitload of them I don't follow. Hell, I do good to follow the ones I got. But the one thing that I think we all need to remember, and I don't care what religion you are, faith, belief in whatever, faith in whatever, begins here, with me, with you. Your faith, your belief, it begins with you, because if you don't believe it, then it doesn't make any difference what the gods or goddesses show you, what Mother Earth offers to you. If the faith is not within yourself, then you're not going to see a damn thing outside of yourself. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yep.
So, anybody else have anything to offer up?
Not really. Like you said, it begins with self before anything else.
And people that watch our pre-recorded broadcast, I would really, truly like to see your story. Share what you can. What paganism has done to help you. You know, it's not it's not paganism that cost us friends or family or jobs. It's the closed-minded individuals that are closing themselves off instead of learning about something different than themselves. So if you're thinking about studying more about paganism and maybe seeing what it's about, research, ask questions, get into some of the pagan groups on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, whatever social network you follow. If you know people that are pagan, ask them, what is it? How does it work? I mean, I think it was many, many, many years ago when I finally decided, okay, I'm not Christian. Christianity doesn't make any sense to me, though I get it, but it's not for me. One of the many conversations that Lester and I had was the difference of the concepts of the two different belief systems. And in the early days of me first starting out, people like me and him, Debbie and I, we sat and had hours upon hours of conversation and debate, conversation of different philosophies. So me, as a pagan, started to take shape and it started to form. It started to build a foundation. I don't think you become pagan overnight. I don't. I don't.
Watch a TV program and turn around and say, "I'm a witch."
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like a good movie as much as the next person, but I'm sorry, practical magic has absolutely nothing to do with witchcraft. And John says there's a saying he uses, not all who wonder are lost. I like that. Not all who wonder are lost. I like that. And on that concept, I'm not lost, but I wonder a lot. It's the wonderment of, to me, the pagan philosophy, it's the wonderment that goes on around me going, what's that? How does it work?
See life through the eyes of a child.
Yes, yes. Everything to a child is wonderment. Children don't have prejudice, they don't have bias, they don't have fear. Fear is taught, prejudice is taught, bigotry is taught. John says, my first altar was a rock and a stick. There you go, bruh. My first altar was a candle. I like candles. Can't burn candles where we're at now because all the cats in the house like to play with them. But, with this in mind, and at the time of this video, it's November 1st, so we're still kind of within Samhain. Enjoy the wonder. Enjoy the wonderment of the world around you. And share your story with us on whatever social network you're watching our videos on, because I spend about 2.5 hours uploading these things to all of our other social networks once I get the video converted. Share your story. We'd like to see it. Well, guys, I'm going to bugger off, and I'm going to give you your Sunday back. And I really want to thank you all for taking the time to share and to watch and to listen, to share your thoughts and ideas. Have a great day. Have a wonderful week. And we'll see you next time here on Open Pagan Church.